Think you're clever enough. We'll see you next time on The Chase. Goodbye.
Potato.
Hello, I'm Samantha Jolie. You're watching Seven's Afternoon News live from Perth. Coming up, Scott Morrison's cash splash, money to fund home renovations, how you could benefit. Are we witnessing a new bikie war after a string of violent home invasions across Perth? More looting, more clashes as police charge all 4 officers over George Floyd's death. The biggest breakthrough yet in the investigation into the disappearance of Madeleine McCann. And more tests here from Dockers forward Cam McCarthy after his collapse at training yesterday. $25,000, that's how much the government will give you to renovate your house as part of the so-called Home Builder program. The Morrison government says new grants to build or renovate homes will help protect more than 1 million residential construction jobs. But critics say the plan has too many limits and misses those most in need. Tim Lester has a story.
Australians looking to build a new home or renovate the one they've got will likely look closely at the government's new Home Builder program. It's all about getting tradies back to work, just as their industry faces a COVID-19 slump.
Where we find ourselves now is heartbreaking. But what you do is you respond and you pull together.
Prime Minister Morrison on his government accepting Australia is in a pandemic-led recession.
It was really hard, and Australians are doing it really tough.
To cushion home construction, the government has announced a 7-month grants program.
We greatly appreciate the federal government coming to the rescue of the industry.
$25,000 payments to encourage home building projects, but limits on who can claim the money. For singles, those who earn up to $125,000 a year, a $200,000 limit for couples. As well, the project can only cost up to $750,000 for a home and no less than $150,000 for renovations.
There aren't too many battlers out there who have a lazy $150,000.
Labor says the program ignores social housing for those in greatest need and is a massive fizzer.
All they're going to be building is a longer line out the front of Centrelink.
We know there's still harder news still to come, and that's why we're making the announcements we're having today.
And a footnote on the Prime Minister's press conference. It was accidentally called on newly planted lawn.
10,000 Australians.
Can everyone get off the grass, please?
Sure, let's just move back from there.
Hey guys, I've just reseeded that.
Yeah, please, off the thing.
The Prime Minister apparently quite calm about being told to get off the grass.
And the Prime Minister says the grant will keep the dream alive for Aussie families who want to build a home or do a big renovation. But that's not the case for everyone, thanks to the strict criteria. Cyan Doherty meets one young father who'll just miss out.
The Home Builder grant is great news for those who qualify, but the criteria is extremely strict. Now, Regan Cleland plans to knock this place down and build. Regan, how excited were you when you heard the news this morning?
Yeah, my wife and I were very excited. We'd heard the whispers the last couple of days and definitely thought it would go a long way to help support the build.
Yep. What is the plan here? Just briefly, what do you want to do with this place?
So essentially we're going to take the existing dwelling, completely demolish it. We were lucky enough that the block is subdividable, so we're going to effectively cut it in half, sell the rear block and help fund the build of a future home.
And you thought this home buyers scheme might help. So let's just go through the criteria and see if you are eligible. Okay. So number 1, are you a natural person, not a company or trust?
I believe so, yes.
Tick that one off, that's easy. You are aged 18 or older?
Yes.
Australian citizen?
Yep.
Is this new home going to be where you live, so not an investment property?
Yes, it'll be a long-term home, yep.
Will the build come to less than $750,000?
Yes, it will.
Between you and your wife, do you earn less than $200,000?
No, we don't.
So you earn just over that?
Yes, it's very borderline, but we're just a regular working class professional couple. So it was very borderline, and unfortunately that's just how it's gone.
How disappointing is that?
It's very disheartening when you think, it's a matter of a few $1,000s is going to potentially lose us 25 plus another 20 if the state government contributes as well. So, 10 grand difference makes 45 grand difference. Disappointing, yeah, certainly.
So a couple who thought they'd be eligible just miss out. We'll see how this plays out over the next few weeks and months. In 7 News at 6, we'll tell you how this affects Western Australia. We'll speak to an expert and a tradie to let you know how it affects you.
Thanks, Diane. Prosecutors in Minneapolis have laid charges against more police involved in the arrest and death of African-American George Floyd. They've also upgraded charges against the police officer accused of Floyd's murder. US Bureau Chief Ashley Mullaney reports.
Good afternoon. Well, from the day that George Floyd was killed at the hands of Minneapolis police, demonstrators here in the city and around the country have demanded all officers involved face charges. And tonight, all 4 are behind bars. The Attorney General announcing Derek Chauvin would have his charge upgraded from third-degree murder to second-degree murder, meaning he could face a potential 40 years behind bars if convicted. The other 3 officers have faced charges of aiding and abetting murder. The District Attorney with this message for the family.
George Floyd mattered. He was loved. His family was important. His life had value. And we will seek justice for him and for you, and we will find it. The very fact that we have filed these charges means that we believe in them.
The Governor of Minnesota was here back at the site of George Floyd's death today, saying he believed that this moment in America is about more than one tragic incident. It is likely that demonstrations will continue across the country. Former President Barack Obama today saying he hopes mayors around the country will review their use of force policies with an upbeat assessment of the protests he's witnessing.
In some ways, as tragic as these past few weeks have been, as difficult and scary and uncertain as they've been, they've also been an incredible opportunity for people to be awakened to some of these underlying trends.
Mr. Floyd's death has ignited or reignited a movement right across America, but at the heart of it all is a family grieving. And today we saw Quincy, George Floyd's son, attend a memorial here, or attend the site where his father died. The family attorney for the Floyd family says he hopes that these new charges will be a source of peace for the family and for America.
For a 9th day, big protests are taking place across America. Most have been largely peaceful, but tensions are rising in Washington, where the Pentagon has put armed troops on standby as requested from the White House. Amelia Brace is there.
Well, this is a common sight on the streets of Washington, D.C. tonight. There are around 1,600 troops that have been mobilised by the Pentagon to be in this city at the request of the president. We did hear from Donald Trump today amid criticism for that decision and that move, and he defended it and said that he reserves the right to move the military into other cities if he thinks it is necessary.
I don't think we'll have to. We have very strong powers to do it. The National Guard is customary, and we have a very powerful National Guard. As far as going beyond that, sure, if it was necessary. We have Antifa, we have anarchists, we have terrorists, we have looters. We have a lot of bad people in those groups.
Now, the curfew here in Washington, D.C. was actually pushed back tonight from 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. And now late at night, it does seem like it has been relatively peaceful. A few altercations with police with missiles thrown, but on a whole, much more peaceful than what we had seen earlier in the week. All eyes are now on the weekend, with speculation around 1 million people could descend on the nation's capital to take part in another large-scale protest.
And you'll recall that Amelia Brace was assaulted by police while reporting on the protests in Washington on Tuesday. US police have now taken action on 2 officers over the violent attack on Amelia and cameraman Tim Myers outside the White House. The 2 officers have now been demoted to desk duties while they're being investigated over the incident. Vision from the protest showed one police officer bash Tim in the stomach with his shield, and another officer is seen hitting Amelia with a truncheon as they tried to flee. And there's been an ugly clash between police and protesters in London. It came after thousands rallied to show their support for the Black Lives Matter protests in the United States.
Well, after about 10 hours, this is what it is now come to. The protesters are still here on the streets of central London. They want to stay. They say the police need them to go home. So they are now in a bit of a standoff. We have seen some violent scenes throughout the evening, which is quite disappointing because it had been so very peaceful. This protest started in Hyde Park. Tens of thousands of people gathered in solidarity with those in the US as part of the Black Lives Matter movement. They then marched through central London, making their way to Parliament Square and to Downing Street. That is where we did see some clashes with the police. Meanwhile, Boris Johnson, the Prime Minister, was just a few hundred metres away inside Downing Street conducting a press conference where he said that there is no room for racism or racist violence on the streets here in the UK.
It's not just one case. This is a chapter in a book, and the book for me is called Injustice, and how many more black lives that got to be lost.
Obviously, what happened in the US has been the catalyst for this, but the people we've spoken to here say there are issues here as well. About an hour before this protest started, the UK police bosses all issued a joint statement saying that they stand alongside those who are appalled and horrified by the death of George Floyd. But many of the people we've spoken to, including some of the ones here still on the street, say that's not how they feel.
Several members of an outlaw motorcycle gang are behind bars this afternoon after a bikie blitz across Perth. Crime reporter Emily Baker is at police headquarters. How many bikies were arrested?
Sam, 5 members of the Lone Wolf bikie gang have been arrested. That means this afternoon almost half the club is behind bars and off our streets. Police executed 10 search warrants across Perth from Lockridge to Hilbert in the bikie blitz. The Lone Wolf clubhouse also raided in Canning Vale, detectives seizing drugs and an axe allegedly used in an attack on a rival street gang in Stratton. But the danger isn't over yet. Gang crime detectives are still hunting this man, 28-year-old Craig Todd Michael, over the violent encounter. If you see him, do not approach him. Instead, call police, and we'll bring you any developments on this unfolding manhunt tonight in 7 News at 6 o'clock.
Emily, thank you. Dockers forward Cam McCarthy says he's hopeful he'll fly with his teammates to the Gold Coast next Tuesday, despite collapsing at training yesterday. McCarthy spoke to us this morning outside his home after being released from hospital. The 25-year-old was taking part in a routine non-contact drill yesterday when he suddenly fainted. At this stage, the cause remains unclear.
Yeah, I'm going well, yeah. Obviously yesterday was a bit of a scare, but on the mend now. I got a few more tests today, but yeah, hopefully it's on the cards, but we'll see how we go after today.
A decision will be made on medical advice over the coming days. We'll bring you more on this story in 7 News at 6. A warning for West Australian drivers this afternoon. The booze buses are back. WA Police will restart high-volume random breath testing and drug testing from this Saturday. The booze buses were taken off the road in mid-March because of the health risks of the COVID-19 pandemic. The reintroduction of the testing coincides with the relaxation of rules for pubs and restaurants. German police have made one of the biggest breakthroughs yet in the disappearance of British girl Madeleine McCann. A German man who was in Portugal when she vanished in 2007 has been identified as a suspect. Hugh Whitfeld has more.
The breakthrough has come in Germany, where a man in jail on unrelated charges is now the prime suspect in the disappearance of Madeleine McCann, the 3-year-old British girl who disappeared from her family's holiday apartment in Portugal in 2007. In the last few hours, German detectives have gone on TV there to reveal they do believe that this is now a murder investigation, and their prime suspect has a history of sex crimes against young girls and break-ins around the Portuguese resort town where Maddie disappeared. They say the suspect received a phone call just an hour before Maddie vanished, lived in this camper van nearby and owned this Jaguar, but transferred the registration to someone else the day after Maddie disappeared. Police in Britain hope any hesitant witnesses will now feel safe enough to come forward.
There may be people in the past who have been quite fearful of coming forward to the police. My message is to anybody that has information, did he speak to you in confidence and tell you what happened that night? And that is my message.
Parents Kate and Jerry McCann would have been celebrating their daughter's 17th birthday last month. They said in a statement, "We will never give up hope of finding Madeleine alive, but whatever the outcome may be, we need to know as we need to find peace." Police here have fended off criticism for years that the $20 million price tag for the ongoing investigation into Maddie's disappearance wasn't worth it. But this appears to be the biggest breakthrough in a long time in a case that has captivated the world.
West Aussies are being encouraged to enjoy our great state as regional travel restrictions are eased even further. From midnight tonight, biosecurity areas that were off limits are being reopened, allowing travellers into the Kimberley. Amber Johnston is at Perth Airport. Amber, how soon can people catch a flight?
Sam, well, this is great news for holiday makers. Of course, anyone can hop in their cars or camper vans and head up north from midnight tonight. But as for flights, well, if you feel like some warm weather, there's one leaving for Broome tomorrow morning at 5:30. Qantas has jumped at this opportunity, vowing to boost its services throughout regional WA this month, increasing its capacity from 5% before COVID-19 to 15% by the end of June. That means there'll be 7 weekly return flights from Perth to Broome and 9 weekly return flights to Karratha, as well as Port Hedland. As part of this deal, Qantas and Jetstar are also boosting domestic services, which equates to more than 300 extra return flights a week across the country. Of course, the question on everyone's lips is price. Just how much will it cost to fly to somewhere like Broome? Well, I had a look online, and if you were to leave this month, it will set you back around $700 a return, but if you were to wait until later this year, it's more like $400, so much cheaper. Sam?
Not bad, thanks Amber. Coming up, the women fleeced by thieves posing as spiritual healers. Plus, what caused this driver to snap and speed off down a footpath. And incredible pictures see what caused these homes to slip into the sea.
The total picture.
City after city rally back.
A city that has lost faith in its own police force.
Turn to 7 News at 6 o'clock.
Good morning, sir. I'm a private detective.
You're a what?
3 unmissable weeks of genuinely sizzling drama.
I've had no choice but to take the law into my own hands. I know what I'm doing.
The new 7-2 event is Scarlet and the Duke tonight.
Join AHM Hospital and Extras Direct and you'll get 6 weeks free. Plus, we'll waive any 2 and 6 month waits on extras.
Yay!
Whether you're a single, a couple, or a family. It's that simple. That doesn't look very simple. Offer ends June 30. Find out more and join AHM Direct today. AHM, the simple bit.
New Style Shutters winter sale is now on. Shut out the weather and secure your home by installing New Style roller shutters. Enjoy your alfresco all year round by installing New Style outdoor blinds. Hurry, our sale ends soon. Call New Style Shutters now.
Saddler's Home. Hamilton feather bedded sofa. Thomas table and chair set. Adrian chair. Solid wood TV unit. Homewares reduced. House is not a home without Saddler's Home.
It looks like she's not feeling too good. A cup of Lemsip Max Multi-Relief should do the trick. Its multi-action formula helps relieve up to 6 cold and flu symptoms. Lemsip, that's better.
Drive now, pay later on selected Volkswagen Amaroks and vans. Hit the ground rolling with your first 3 monthly repayments on us. Plus, get a 1.99% interest rate.
Volkswagen. With Belong, you get 10 gigs of mobile data for $25 a month. That's 10 gigs of family time, 10 gigs of scrolling through memory lane, 10 gigs of staycations, or 10 gigs of catching up with the family. Plus, unlimited international calls and texts to selected countries for $5 extra. We all spend family time differently. Together, we're different. Belong.
While we're all having nights in, make yours a big night in. Because this year you could win up to $8,000 worth of prizes from a huge range. Woolworths Big Night In. There's a new winner every day.
You're watching 7's 4 p.m. news live from Perth. Another beautiful winter's day. We got to 25.5 degrees in the city this afternoon. The forecast is coming up soon. Mystery surrounds a four-wheel drive rollover that happened in Karrinyup this morning. The car smashed into an NBN hub at the corner of Deanmore Road and Jeans Road, leaving most of the suburb without internet. When emergency crews arrived, the engine was still running, but the driver was nowhere to be found.
We were in the front room there upstairs, so it was quite a scary noise at the time.
Police are still searching for the driver. People do some horrifying things on the road, but this next story may shock you. 7 News has obtained exclusive video of a driver who got so fed up with traffic, they barrelled along the footpath.
Police say this driving was reckless, extremely dangerous and could have killed. The person behind the wheel had just had an argument with another driver in Sydney's West. Witnesses heard swearing and horns blasting before one of the drivers had had enough. But with traffic backed up and no quick exit, the driver of this white hatchback used the footpath to make his escape. Shocked workers and shoppers pulled out their phones as the driver flew past pubs, small businesses and even a pedestrian who looked quite staggered as the car cruised by.
He didn't go slow down the sidewalk either. It was at a pretty decent speed.
Around here you see a few things, but not quite like that.
This vision is now in the hands of police and they're very keen to speak with the driver. See the full video in our 6 o'clock bulletin.
Scammers posing as spiritual healers are stealing thousands of dollars off vulnerable women across Melbourne. Louisa Cheatley reports.
Good afternoon. They preyed on vulnerable women under the guise of healing before scamming them out of thousands of dollars worth of cash and jewellery. Inga was shopping at Southland on Valentine's Day when she was approached by an elderly woman who convinced her she needed healing. Then a second lady accompanied Inga to her home and convinced her to collect all her cash and jewellery so they could be healed. She then drove with the woman back to Southland where the two self-proclaimed healers prayed over her belongings. During that process, they switched Inga's valuables and instead gave her a box full of stones and told her not to open it for 40 days. After those 40 days, Inga discovered the rocks and realised her items worth thousands of dollars were gone.
Like empty. I trust her because I believe it. I don't understand all women, it's 70 plus.
The offenders are just targeting vulnerable members. They're basically preying on the insecurities and then attempting to manipulate that to obtain their valuables.
Police say another woman was fleeced in St Kilda a few days later and a third woman was approached here at the South Melbourne market, but the scammers left empty-handed. It's believed they're a group of Russian women who are targeting women of the same culture. Police fear there are other victims and could be many more to come.
We have some terrifying pictures to show you now. 8 buildings have been destroyed in a landslide in Norway. Video shows houses as well as a caravan being swallowed by the water in the 600-metre wide landslip. A man survived the mudslide with a helicopter called in to retrieve a dog on the country's east coast. Police are making inquiries to determine if there are other victims. Several smaller landslides happened beforehand. The area has been declared unstable. Subiaco Oval is open to the public for the first time in more than 80 years. It looks very different to the ground where so many iconic football moments happened, but there are still a few reminders of its glory days. Rory Campbell has more.
This is where Justin Longmuir and Nick Natanui kicked match-winning goals after the siren, the scene of the infamous Demolition Derby, and where the first ever State of Origin game was played between WA and Victoria. As of today, you can get out on Subiaco Oval and relive those famous moments. It's now officially open for public use outside school hours. During school time, the kids at Bob Hawke College will use it. A hallowed place, but not the hallowed turf. The Oval has been resurfaced. There are a few reminders of the grandstands from the glory days, with 250 wooden seats and the player dugouts preserved. The last time WA's home of footy was available to the public like this was 83 years ago.
It's intended that we have school use, community use and football use, and that is the plan.
As the COVID restrictions ease, we're looking forward to welcoming junior sport onto the Oval. We're hoping to see people meeting here, enjoying the space.
This is a key milestone in the Subi East Development Project. A plan for how development will take place around the ground is still being worked on. That'll see up to 2,000 homes near the Oval and at the old Princess Margaret Hospital site. In the news at 6, the latest details on exactly how community organisations will be able to use the Oval. Now it's available.
Up next, new pictures, a car driven into a crowd of protesters in Los Angeles. Also, firebombs and rocks thrown as police and protesters clash in Greece. And electric luxury, the latest sports car to go environmentally friendly.
The cash cow's rocketing for a world-breaking record. 24 million given away.
Oh, you're kidding.
Only on.
You've got a lot of living to do in retirement. Are you confident you can pay for it? Using part of your super or savings, add a Challenger lifetime annuity to your retirement income, and you'll enjoy guaranteed income for life, helping to cover your living costs. So like thousands of other retirees, you too can look forward with confidence. Find out more at challenger.com.au.
We're ready to get back out there again. As we do, it's up to all of us to stay COVID safe. Anytime you leave your house, wash your hands regularly. Keep physical distance where you can. Have the COVID Safe app on your phone. And importantly, if you're feeling sick, you need to stay at home and get tested. Together, we can reduce the risk of a second wave. Stay COVID-free and do the 3.
Authorised by the Chief Medical Officer, Canberra.
I drive a lot. I build stuff, pull things, push things, and I hit things. And then I carry stuff.
What do you do again?
I drive a Hilux.
Australia's #1 selling vehicle, 4 years running. Oh, what a feeling. Toyota.
Come on, everyone!
Donate some of your data to kids who need it most and power their potential.
He knows he's a fierce hunter, but he doesn't know what cognitive development means. Cats don't always know what's good for them. Lucky you do. Optimum Kitten Formula with DHA.
For the mid-afternoon naps. For the midnight marathons. For bringing the family together. For a chance to escape from the world. For the good times and the other times. For the years of support. Danks Furniture. The comfort of home.
Are you pregnant or planning for a baby? Try Elevate Pregnancy Multivitamin from Chemist Warehouse. Elevate is Australia's most trusted pregnancy multivitamin, a scientific formula with more folic acid and iron than any other pregnancy multivitamin. Elevate Pregnancy Multivitamin is $59.99 at Chemist Warehouse. And now available Elevate DHA to support baby's brain and eye development, and Elevate Probiotics to support immunity. Live, look, feel well at Chemist Warehouse.
As demonstrations in Los Angeles begin to ease, police have responded to a driver who ploughed through a group of protesters. Paul Kadak is in LA.
Good afternoon. The streets of America's second biggest city have again echoed to protest throughout the day. This rally in front of City Hall in downtown Los Angeles attracting thousands of people who for hours have very clearly made their voice heard and without incident. But at another protest in the city's south, a man has driven a car into a group of hundreds of protesters, reportedly striking a cyclist and perhaps a couple of other people, and narrowly missing a child as well. Thankfully, it looks like no one was seriously hurt there, though the driver has been charged. There has been no let-up in the intensity of these protests across LA today. Around 20 have been held from Beverly Hills to Orange County to Hollywood, where thousands of people marched around 10 kilometres, some going on to the front of the LA Mayor's official residence. Today, Eric Garcetti said there was a need to make a firm commitment to change, not just in words, but in actions.
To those who are protesting, thank you. I'm listening. I hear those voices, and more importantly, we're working together on the actions that will make sure that those voices and those calls don't land flat.
He's also announced that the budget of the LA Police Department would be cut by around $150 million, so more money could be spent on what he says are jobs, health, education and healing. Now, curfews are again going to be in place throughout the night. They've gradually been going into place throughout the day here in LA, a bit later than in recent days here in the downtown area. Police are expecting to make more arrests. They made hundreds of arrests yesterday, mainly for curfew violations, mainly protesters who didn't want to go home after they were asked to when the curfew came into place, but many of them saying they were prepared to be arrested for the cause. But with no repeat of angry battles between demonstrators and police, and nothing like the destruction or looting we've seen in recent days, the mayor said that barring a bad night, the overnight curfew will be lifted tomorrow. From downtown Los Angeles, it's back to you.
Thanks, Paul. And police have fired tear gas on protesters who hurled stones and firebombs outside the heavily guarded US Embassy in Athens. 4,000 people marched against racism, with police buses brought in to secure the embassy. It was one of the largest demonstrations over the deadly arrest of George Floyd outside America. It's a Porsche, but not as you know it. The car maker has launched its new all-electric supercar that can go from a standing start to 100 kilometres an hour in less than 3 seconds. It's just gone on sale, and as you can expect, it's not cheap.
Good afternoon. Well, this is an experience not many Australians could afford, sitting in the driver's seat of Porsche's new electric car. But soon that could be a reality for many Australians. The Taycan is the first ever electric performance car.
It is a purely electric vehicle and also a true Porsche sports car.
It performs like any other electric model but speeds like high-end race cars and can go from 0 to 100 kilometres an hour in just 2.8 seconds.
The highest compliment you can afford the Taycan is that it's a true Porsche sports car. It has the soul of a Porsche and all of the performance and luxury you'd expect from one of our sports cars.
Under the bonnet, there's no engine to admire, rather storage space. 2 600-kilo batteries are hidden along the base of the car, making it one of the heaviest models around, and is available in 3 different models: the Taycan 4S, the Taycan Turbo and the Taycan Turbo S. This model won't be available in Australia until the end of this year and could cost you anywhere from $190,000 to $350,000.
A Boddington man whose murder conviction has been overturned looks set to face a retrial in October. Noel Brunning joins us from the GWN7 News Desk with the details.
Scott Ostick's conviction for murdering his secret lover, Stacey Thorne, was quashed in March. Today, he was told the retrial is likely to start on October the 26th. His lawyers will be making a bail application next Tuesday. 50 new jobs will be created for locals in the Great Southern next month when work gets underway on the $25 million Albany to Denmark water pipeline to secure Denmark's long-term water supply. And with virus restrictions easing, the state government is ramping up regional building projects. Today, it announced it was moving ahead with the planned $73 million redevelopment of the Geraldton Health Campus.
A nation divided, Brazil easing restrictions as the COVID pandemic escalates. That's ahead. Plus, Britain introduces a mandatory 2-week quarantine for international travellers. And cheese lovers unite for the largest online celebration of cheese.
Footy's firing up again, and the game is back in the West. Reboot, recharge, refocus. With your ultimate guide to the season like no other. The Game 2020 AFL Season Guide. Only in the West on Saturday. The West Australian. WA Footy lives here.
The front bar is back.
If you are looking for earnest discussion or a level of sensitivity about the coronavirus, this show may not be for you.
How old are you there, Michael? 12. I've got twin boys, and I think that's how it started. Oh, get out of it, you pink maggot!
When Eleni throws the bouquet in the air, 2 of the girls are going to have to nominate who goes up.
The pub's closed down.
Judging by that performance, NIDA was closed as well.
The front bar is back tonight on 7.
Your Ford dealer is still open and ready to help your business get back to business with high-vis value. So you can get a hard-working Ranger XLT for only $54,990 drive away, or the great value Ranger XLS for just $46,490 drive away. And don't forget to check if your business is eligible for the government's instant asset write-off this financial year. So hurry into your Ford dealer now for high-vis value.
With Belong, you get 10 gigs of mobile data for $25 a month. That's 10 gigs of family time, plus unlimited international calls and texts to selected countries for $5 extra. Together, we're different. Belong.
At Terry White Chemmart, we're here to help this winter. It's why pharmacists like Bridget are trained to administer flu vaccinations right here in store. Book your flu vaccination now. Terry White Chemmart. Now that's real chemistry.
The award-winning Live Apartments, located in Fremantle's revitalised East End, offer the perfect home base. These move-in ready 1, 2 and 3 bedroom apartments have been cleverly designed to maximise indoor and outdoor living. You'll enjoy lower living costs with double glazed windows, superior insulation and high efficiency appliances powered by renewable energy. Plus, you'll live just moments from the best that Freo has to offer. Book your private tour today at liveapartments.com.au.
It's ABC's end of financial year sale with up to 50% off rollers, vertical blinds, Vertishare blinds, outdoor blinds, vision blinds and shutters.
13, 15 ABC.
Maltesers, the lighter way to enjoy chocolate.
Same shirt?
Nice shirt, Tom.
Thanks. I'm getting that shirt.
I'm coming with you. Tom, so unique.
Thank you.
In Brazil, they're now relaxing restrictions at the same time as the coronavirus escalates at an alarming rate. At the start of April, that country had just under 7,000 recorded cases. A month later, the figure was 92,000. Now, suddenly, there are more than 500,000 cases, the most anywhere in the world outside the United States.
Fighting for breath as COVID-19 tightens its grip on Brazil. Doctors at a Sao Paulo field hospital work as fast as possible to intubate a 43-year-old man whose oxygen levels are critical. Do you think this man will survive? Yes, he has a chance now we've stabilised him, the doctor explains. Staff are working 12-hour shifts. They call it a combat hospital, built in 6 days on the site of a car park to take the overflow from the city's public hospitals. The 10 intensive care beds here are already full, patients being helped to breathe artificially. There are enough ventilators to treat the sickest patients, but they're running out of the drugs needed to sedate them while they fit the breathing apparatus. There's just 3 weeks left, then they don't think they'll be able to get any more. Doctors are desperate to stem the flow of patients. They're calling for a nationwide lockdown.
I think if we don't do the lockdown, the cases will be more and more every day.
In Rio de Janeiro, the governor has locked down. Against the president's wishes, he's closed the beaches and told tourists to stay away. But it hasn't spared the city from the ravages of corona. The anger over the damage the virus is causing has divided Brazil. Supporters of President Jair Bolsonaro, who is against any quarantine measures, stage a rally beside Copacabana Beach. I agree with him totally, one supporter tells me. Thousands have lost their jobs. We can't listen to the people who tell us we should stay at home. But streets also reverberate to more traditional protest. Pots, pans and insults aimed from balconies at Bolsonaro's failure to tackle COVID-19. Nurse Cidinha Duarte was just 63 years old when she died from the virus. Her family accused the government of murdering her, alleging she was forced to work without protective equipment.
A minha mãe foi assassinada porque eles não tiveram compaixão da situação dela. Então eu levo sim isso como assassinato.
Their mother also infected her son. Alexandra is 39 years old, now struggling to recover after 32 days on life support. Fear of the pandemic has seeped into the favelas, the ramshackle communities that are home to 13 million Brazilians. In Vidigal, the streets are sprayed with ammonia, but it doesn't stop the virus spreading. Worse still, the peak of the pandemic may not have passed yet. Brazil is being warned that deaths are likely to keep rising until the end of the month. A painful prospect for this embattled nation.
The United Kingdom will press ahead with a mandatory 2-week quarantine for international travellers, despite opposition from MPs on both sides of the House of Commons. Arriving visitors will have to self-isolate in their own accommodation or a government-booked room for 14 days from June 8. Any breaches will attract an $1,800 fine. The death toll in the UK has almost reached 40,000. 80 years ago this week, on the beaches of Dunkirk in northern France, the huge evacuation of British soldiers was taking place. They'd been cut off and surrounded by the advancing German army. One of the British soldiers who was shot wrote a letter before his death. That letter has only just made it home.
My dear mother, at last I can manage to write you a few lines, after all the hustle and bustle of this life.
They are the words of a young soldier to his devoted mother. But it was a letter she never got to read, a letter which took 80 years to get back home.
I came from the school and Mother sat there crying her eyes out.
Clemmy Cole was only 7 when his big brother Harry was killed by a sniper. The oldest son, he was his mother Rosa's favourite child, but he died 3 days after he wrote to her, and the letter went astray. She died in 1958, and only now has Harry's surviving family received it.
My first thoughts were my mother. She'd have loved that letter. She really would, you know. She'd have probably give anything. She did receive letters from Harry, obviously, you know, but this one obviously would have been so special.
He seems really hopeful in that letter, doesn't he?
Harry was convinced that the Germans were on the run. He said that in the letter, didn't he? He said, I'll see you soon, you know.
Well, Mother, please don't worry about me. I shall get through it okay.
Despite Private Cole's apparent optimism, in May 1940, Allied troops were retreating to the beaches of Dunkirk, ready for mass evacuation. He died before he got there, and his letter and many others were lost in the turmoil, only to be found at the home of a German army officer in 1968. They were eventually returned to the Suffolk Regiment Association, and while most are still unclaimed, a researcher who lives in the same village as the Coles recognised his name from the war memorial. Harry Cole sadly did not make it back home, but at least his final letter has completed its journey.
So until next time, cheerio, love to all, Harry.
Cheese lovers will come together tomorrow in the largest online celebration of cheese ever. US dairy farmers will host a virtual cheese party on Zoom. You'll meet the cheese makers and learn about different varieties. The one big drawback, no tasting. You'll have to supply your own plate. Coming up in sport, a 7 News exclusive, former docker Lachie Neale on the clash with his old side.
The footy is back, and it starts with a Thursday night blockbuster.
You can't ask for more than that.
These two teams, everyone here knows the history.
Goes to another level. It's hard to get your head around it.
Both teams absolutely desperate.
Is this his big moment?
Oh boy, here comes the pressure. That's unbelievable.
Collingwood and Richmond headline the season return.
Magnificent.
Next Thursday, go to the footy, live and free on 7 Mate.
Why don't you come on? For the pleasures all mine, never getting old. If you're looking for me, I'll be dancing in my own way.
The BHP Vital Resources Fund is providing financial support to regional health services to help them deliver the essential services their communities need to meet the coronavirus challenge. For more information, visit bhp.com/vitalresources.
Find a fantastic new look for your home at the Fantastic Sale. Don't miss great prices on sofas, dining sets, kids' furniture and heaps more. These low prices won't last, so hurry. Shop online or in-store today. The Fantastic Sale is on now.
As credit to you, here's up to $120 credit from us. Add any selected month-to-month mobile plan with Vodafone and get the credit you deserve over 12 months. Find out more at vodafone.com.au. Ready?
Craft Decor's end of financial year sale. Overstocked, 50,000 square metres reduced. No one has arranged like Craft Decor. For large orders, make us an offer. Cannington, Joondalup, Mandurah, Osborne Park and South Fremantle. Craft Decor, best tiles, best prices.
Together, we're getting there. And driving away has never felt better, especially with the incredible drive-away price of $59,888 for the NX 300 two-wheel drive luxury. Contact your Lexus dealer today.
With Retrovision, you can shop safely and conveniently in-store and online with the option to shop locally over the phone, contactless click and collect and home delivery, and more live chat support online. So for all your electrical stuff, shop local with Retrovision.
You know this horse is better value, and this horse is ready to go one better. That's why you deserve a better bet with Tab Touch. This Saturday, get boosted odds on races 1 to 3 at Eagle Farm. Better your bet with Tab Touch. Gamble responsibly.
You're watching 7's Afternoon News. Basil joins us now. Baz, we've spoken to a former Dockers Club champion.
Yes, Sam, he's now at the Brisbane Lions. Of course, the Lions' best player insists clashing with his old team will be like any other game, and this time he really means it. Lachie Neale admits facing Fremantle last year messed with his head, but next Saturday he's ready when Brisbane's season resumes.
He landed at the Gabba with big raps and delivered. Third in the Brownlow, an All-Australian, Lachie Neale was crowned Lions Club champion 2019.
He's a superstar. We're lucky to have a bloke like that at the club, and I guess that's what we've done here at the club with this culture. We've brought blokes in like that, blokes who can really make an impact.
While winning new hearts, he broke others across the Nullarbor until the final kick of round 10.
Wouldn't say we really owe him one. We want to get the win. We started with a pretty average display in round 1, so we don't want to go 0-2.
Neale finished with 26 disposals, a quiet night by his lofty standards.
My head was probably spinning a little bit last year playing him, but I feel good now and sort of got that first one out of the way, so it'll just be like playing any other game.
But the next one won't be. The Gabatoir empty.
Playing away against a home crowd can sometimes be daunting for a young team, so to go over there and not have that will be good for us.
They've changed quite a bit as well. A lot of new personnel, new coach. It'll be interesting to see if they've changed the way they play.
2 months stewing on what went wrong in round 1 will change how the Lions played. Too much handballing, not enough kicking to their weapons.
We know we've got such a potent, really fast, agile forward line, so those scramble balls, those surge kicks really suit our forward line.
Ben Davis, 7 News.
There are fears Australian cricket is about to be rocked by another bitter player pay dispute. Cricket Australia gave the Players Association a revised financial forecast yesterday. It predicts a 50% reduction to the revenue pool, which covers player payments, so significant wage reductions are inevitable.
We understand we have to play our role, and we will do that, and we trust that the ACA will work with CA to get the best result.
Cricket Australia says it faces an $80 million loss from this summer alone. A proposal to restart the NBA season at the end of next month will be voted on tomorrow. Only 22 of the 30 teams would be involved, the 16 currently occupying playoff spots, and another 6 teams which could force their way into the playoffs. That means Ben Simmons' Philadelphia 76ers and Paddy Mills' San Antonio Spurs will make the cut. All games will be played in the basketball arena at Disney World in Florida. I suppose, Sam, if you've got to go back and play basketball, you may as well play at Disney World.
Not a bad spot.
Good stuff. Something coming up special tonight. Hall of Fame. Everyone's going to like it.
Can't wait.
That's all I can say.
Thanks, Baz. Look forward to it. Just how long will this warm winter weather last? I'll tell you after the break.
This is where WA starts the day.
From this morning, COVID-19 restrictions are being relaxed.
If it's breaking in Perth,
Live now to the crime scene.
You'll see it on Sunrise.
Royal Perth Hospital.
Sunrise is Perth News.
Very good news to start our Wednesday.
Sunrise, the best way to start your day in WA.
Everything we've done comes down to today.
This is it.
It's about to go down.
In the closest ever grand final.
Wow.
It is extraordinary.
Stunning.
Very, very seductive.
It all comes down to this.
It's a 9.
It's a 9.
So it's down to me.
Don't miss the nail-biting finish.
You are House Rules champions.
Who will win? The spectacular House Rules Grand Final, Sunday at 7.
Whenever I go to start it, it just goes clunk, 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 clunk. Do you reckon you could fix it by 4? I need to go pick up some milk.
Shaver Shop's end of financial year sale. Save up to 80%. Waterpik water floss are now $69.95. Save 55% on Davidoff Cool Water for men and Mac 3 Blades now $15.95. Save up to 80% at Shaver Shop. Sale on now.
We'll take the old grout out and put the new grout in. We'll fix your leaking shower, make it brand new and sparkling. Grout Guard.
Don't miss Region Power's 17-year anniversary special. Massive 6.6 kilowatt solar system. European manufactured inverter. Fully installed for just $42.90. Call Region Power today on 18000 Region. Visit regionpower.com.
Join AHM Hospital and Extras Direct and you'll get 6 weeks free. Plus, we'll waive any 2 and 6 month waits on extras.
Yay!
Whether you're a single, a couple, or a family. It's that simple. That doesn't look very simple. Offer ends June 30. Find out more and join AHM Direct today. AHM, the simple bit.
At Harvey Norman, get up to $700 of bonus gift cards on Intel laptops. Get a $100 bonus gift card with this Lenovo IdeaPad laptop, now only $999. A bonus $200 gift card with this Asus VivoBook Flip laptop for $1,499. Or a bonus $700 gift card with this Acer Swift 5 laptop featuring the latest 10th gen Intel Core i7 processor. Up to $700 of bonus gift cards on Intel laptops. Ends Monday at Harvey Norman.
With a world of knowledge.
The black drongo is a bird species native to which continent? Stop the clock. The flaming drongo.
New The Chase, weekdays on 7.
This weather report brought to you by Bridgestone Select for tyres and car servicing.
Good afternoon, it's Savannah here with a check of your roads. Freeways first, northbound is touch and go from Mounts Bay to Warwick Road, with southbound slow from the city to Mill Point Road and Roe Highway to Berrigan Drive. Also delays in at Bayswater on Tongan Highway northbound from Dunreath Drive up to Guildford Road, so do exercise patience. RAC Insurance, take care of the things that are important to you and are there whenever you need them. Get a quote today at rac.com.au. More traffic tomorrow morning.
Now, Fuel Watch, Perth's petrol prices. Brought to you by Fuel Watch and 7 News.
Checking the weather now, another warm and sunny winter's day. We got to 25.5 degrees in the city. Looking at the national forecast, partly cloudy and 23 for Brisbane tomorrow, partly cloudy and 15 for Adelaide, and sunny in Sydney and Canberra. Back to Perth, and the balmy winter rolls on. 25 expected again tomorrow and again on Saturday. Sunday it drops down to 23 with a chance of a shower. Monday back to the sunshine and 22. Tuesday and Wednesday both expecting tops of 24 degrees and an 80% chance of showers on Thursday. And I'll see you with Rick, Sue and Baz for 7 News at 6. Stay with us for The Chase Australia.
Are you ready for Monday, 7:30? Hello, Australia. I have been waiting for this. My house is ready, finally. They will arrive.
The party's here! Will you be okay with this?
No, I need minions to help me.
Minions? No, I'll do it. Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
Oh my God!
Oh.
Wow!
Oh my God!
Dude, this is insane!
Oh my God!
Big brother, you've outdone yourself.
Wow! Holy bananas!
In my house,
Oh my God! No way!
there will be a big challenge every night.
Oh my God!
And someone will be evicted every night. There's only one Big Brother.
Wow.
There's nothing bigger. And now, a whole new game begins.
Honey, I'm home!
I am Big Brother. Who wins? You decide. I'll see you Monday, 7:30.
These four strangers must work as a team to